Ramzan Kadyrov posted a video of his walk on his social networks where he talks to passersby, takes pictures with children, and even rides in a children's electric car decorated as a tank, the Novosti agency reports. Kadyrov noted that he was walking along the pedestrian boulevard named after Makhmud Esambayev, which he called one of the most beautiful places in Grozny. According to him, during the walk, he met supposedly random tourists from different regions of Russia. The video shows the head of Chechnya riding in an electric tank with a child, taking pictures with other children, walking along the boulevard, and greeting people. At the same time, Kadyrov barely speaks and his face looks detached and emotionless. Journalists found out the identities of some of the random people he met during his walk. Among them was Zelimkhan Musayev, who had previously worked in the police of the Shali district of Chechnya. In 2022, he participated in a rally against the family of Judge Saidi Yangulbaev, where activists burned and beat with sticks portraits of family members, including the judge's wife, Zarema Musayeva, and his children. The administrator of the opposition resource, ADAT Ibragim Yangulbaev, and human rights activist Abubakar Yangulbaev. Zarema Musayeva was later kidnapped in Nizhny Novgorod and sentenced to 5 years in a penal colony in Chechnya. Also photographed with Kadyrov was Inal Khuchiev from Ingushetia, known as a singer of religious Islamic songs under the name Ibragim Khuchiev. He had previously met with activists of the Mentor Z project in Ingushetia, where he was introduced as a participant in the war in Ukraine from the first days of the full-scale invasion. Among other people in the video, one can see a doctor from Dagestan, Larisa Saidova, and a deputy from the city of Dagestanskie Ogni, Feroza Magomedova, who also heads the local cultural department. It is worth noting that Kadyrov's activity has noticeably decreased in recent months. Since April the 8th, he has held only 2 meetings in person, on July the 4th and the 14th. At that time, he explained that with a well-established management system, there is no need to hold meetings every day. It is enough to give instructions over the phone. He also stressed that the decrease in activity is not related to his health. In their opinion, if a person doesn't go to a meeting, he is either dying or already dead. You won't get it, Kadyrov said. Meanwhile, Novaya Gazeta Evropa reported back in 2019 that the head of Chechnya was diagnosed with pancreatic necrosis. According to the publication, his condition stabilized by the end of 2023, but the Republic began preparing for a possible change of power. A week ago, the Grozny TV channel showed a 35-second video of Kadyrov's meeting with the head of the local traffic police, Idris Cherkigov, although the Chechen leader himself was shown in the video for only 2 seconds. The strikes that Ukraine carries out with its drones every night on objects in Russia, including near Moscow, are aimed not only at hitting the target, but also exert psychological pressure on residents of Russian settlements, in particular making them doubt the capabilities of their air defense. This was stated by the Deputy General Director of the Company for the Production of Electronic Warfare Equipment, former officer of the Air Force of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Anatoly Krapchinsky, on the air of Radio NV. According to him, the Moscow region has a large number of targets that could be of interest to Ukraine. In particular, he named a rather interesting place in the Moscow region city of Korolev. This is about a plant that produces missiles that the enemy subsequently fires at Ukraine from strategic and tactical aviation. We have repeatedly hit some enterprises. Let's remember that our drones even flew into Moscow City, Krapchinsky noted. However, the fact that the strikes occur consistently every night when the news constantly reports that Moscow is being bombed, is also a means of psychological pressure on Russians, especially residents of Moscow and St. Petersburg, the aviation expert believes. And I think that this is how it should continue. I am not betting that there will be some kind of coup d'etat there. However, the fact that they do not have high-quality air defense systems, that they do not meet the requirements, this may already hint at some kind of political or psychological pressure, he noted. Earlier, drones attacked Moscow and the Moscow region on the night of July the 20th, causing fires there. The Russian Defense Ministry reported that 16 drones were shot down. Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin stated that cars caught fire from falling debris and a residential high-rise was damaged. In addition, due to the UAV attack, all Moscow airports, Sheremetyevo, Domodedovo, Vnukovo and Zhukovsky stopped receiving and sending planes. On the night of July the 18th, drones attacked Moscow and Zazinsk. Russian media reported that at least 4 drones were shot down as they approached the capital. In Zazinsk, Nizhny Novgorod Oblast, at least 10 explosions were heard, according to local residents. Also at the Nizhny Novgorod airport, which is located about 25 kilometers from Zazinsk, a carpet plan was introduced. After a normal summer rain, a road in Russia's Zabaikalsky Krai literally turned into a swamp. The dirt road that connected 3 villages with the outside world became impassable even for SUVs. Cars get stuck. Locals pull each other out with shovels. Children walk ankle-deep in mud. An ambulance simply won't get there. A video has been published online of a resident's appeal to local authorities in which he demands that they restore order. People are trying to organize the passage of cars by raking the swamp with shovels. There is no asphalt in the area, and it is unlikely that there will be, experts say. There is no funding either. According to Russian officials themselves, in May, funding for a road repair and construction was cut by 42% across Russia. This is not counting the upcoming autumn sequestration, which promises to finish off the remains of local budgets. Social networks are ironic. When you are a billionaire in oil and gas but live like an 18th century Bosnian peasant, blogger Denis Kazansky sums it up. These people always need some new territories, and they travel thousands of kilometers to die instead of making a road for themselves. Did you choose Putin? Get the full package. Off-road, dirt and greatness, they write online. They say Putin has to reply. Recently, torrential rain triggered flash floods in Moscow, inundating roads and disrupting transit across the Russian capital. Authorities said parts of the city received a month's worth of rain in under 2 hours. No one was reported injured. City transportation officials urged residents to use public transit, though service was disrupted at several metro stations and on the Aero Express train to Sheremetyevo Airport. Climate scientists have long warned that Russia, warming 2.5 times faster than the global average, is increasingly vulnerable to extreme weather events, including prolonged heat waves and heavy rainfall.
От всего внешнего мира. Это Алтан, Шумунда и Бубукун. Скажи. Еще машина подъезжает. И мы не можем пробраться ни до кого.